Greetings and salutations, folks. My name is Nick, and welcome back to GreedFall, where last time we discovered that Constantine, our cousin, was up to no good. Apparently, he's been using his newfound abilities for the purposes of taking over the island. And we need to stop him from killing everybody. We went to everybody, all the allies that we could round up, and we rounded them up. Now we need to find Constantine and stop him in his secret lair. Wherever that might be. I'm sure it's going to be by the waypoint.
The cave that Constantine indicated in his notes shouldn't be very far.
And given his unhealthy fear of being spied on, the place must be guarded.
Is it being guarded by the people directly in front of us? Let's see how much magic this uses up. Alright, not too much comparatively. As you can see, I have swapped my combat styles. I'm using a different class because, like, my previous class didn't quite feel effective. Like, it didn't really feel like I had kind of scaled up with everything. Not to mention the fact that magic in this game doesn't necessarily feel like a magic class as much as it feels like it's just melee but with flashy particles. But this, like, the sword is slow on the swing. And even though it is affected by creatures' armor, it still does more damage overall. Ah. Yeah, unfortunately, it also means I lose a, like a ranged attack. Which would always be useful against enemies that kind of have hidden attack patterns. Actually, hold on. Stasis you. I can wait until you're out of armor. Yeah, so I still have access to these basic, even though I'm a different class, I still have access to these basic powers because that's where I put my points into. I just don't have as much mental power and willpower to use, like I don't have the mental power to use the same rings that I had before, and I don't have the willpower to use the same necklaces. But I still have all of the same spells that I have unlocked. Like, it's not like the warrior class, which I am now. Yeah, now I'm a melee class. Like, it still has access to the exact same skill tree, the exact same attributes, the same talents. According to my calculations, by performing linking rituals in Credgwen and Vidville, an Melfrictaman should be sufficiently weakened and I sufficiently powerful to fight him. I cannot wait to annihilate this senile old god. Alright.
Constantine has marked several places on this map. I recognize some of them. They're sacred places for the natives. Places of connection. This place. This journal. Oh, my poor Constantine. You have completely lost your mind. What are you hoping to achieve with these rituals?
No Donegad has ever done such a thing. It goes against the balance that we are defending. Enon Mir Frichterman was right. Your cousin wants power. He is feeding from the strength of Tyr Fredi.
So much so that he is threatening Anon Milfrichteman himself. He wants to take his place. To think he's been plotting this absurd plan for weeks. He even used us to achieve it. The intruder in the sanctuary was certainly sent by him to scout the place. We will need to gather allies if we're going to stop him. But we will also have to weaken him and break apart the bonds that he has established.
Even though I've studied the rituals of the natives, I really don't know how to proceed. I can only think of one person that could help us. Dunkus. Mev is too hostile towards strangers.
You're right. Let's go and find him.
All right. I don't even know why I would necessarily... Mev has helped us before, though. Gotta give credit to Mev for that. For now, though, I guess we're just going to cut to Dunkus. All right, Dunkus. What can you tell us about these sacred sites?
When you see Vad, give him my thanks. If it weren't for him, one of my friends would probably be dead.
We already had this conversation.
That is the task.
How do I break links?
As I've told you before, my cousin bonded himself in many places before he decided to target the heart of the island.
You did tell me, and you must know that by doing so, he has acquired a power that no Donegada has ever possessed.
That is why I need your help. We need to break some of his bonds in order to weaken him.
Rest assured, all the Donegada will answer to the call of their Hoi King. And with their help, we will heal the wound your cousin has opened. However, to accomplish this, it is I who will need your help.
What can I do?
During the ritual, the one who is bonding himself spills some of his blood near the base of a stone. And this blood summons a guardian. The guardian lifts the stone so that it may serve as an anchor point for the bond. The only way to break this bond is to have a guardian topple the stone. We will be able to do it, but these rituals take a long time.
So, defend against wave after wave of monsters.
In the meantime, you must prevent your cousin from drawing magic from the place. Here, take these seeds and plant them at the bottom of your cousin's bonding stones. These plants grow very fast, and their roots will prevent him from drawing the strength of Tifradi. However, you must be careful, because the guardians corrupted by him will come to defend the stones.
Thank you, Dunkus.
Oh, so a mini-boss gauntlet for the end of the game. Classic. It's a classic choice, I've got to say.
Finish the work of the plants I have given you.
Oh, only 2 seeds. All right, I was going to say, like, how many boss fights does it expect me to do? Just the ones that, that Constantine mentioned in his journal. So, let's see, there's one of them. Yeah, go to this place, fight one of the guardians who you've already fought before. Go to the other place, fight a version of the other guardian you've already fought before, and move on. Oh, hello. How are you? Let us do stasis. What are all these mowing attack? Only 22. Okay. Do stasis again. Siora, try not to get hit. Oh, actually I can do this. I can cast Shield of the Enlightened, because that'll actually help everybody now. I've shifted my points around so that now everybody gets the blessing of the shield. I'm surprised that I didn't get hit by that. I'll accept it. There we go. Nope. Oh, I still got hit by that. And no more armor. Excellent. Yeah, and now I'm doing 884 damage per hit, as opposed to 2 to 300. Now, let's heal and let's do another Shield of the Enlightened. Ah, damn it. Let's heal again. And then, how about let's do Fury? Let's see how effective this would be. Gets knocked down immediately. Also, the lock system really kind of gives up every so often. I wonder if the locking system is just broken by the stones every so often. Yeah, like I've locked on and lost my locking system. Yep, it is definitely broken by loss of line of sight. Let's heal, and then Shield of the Enlightened again. That's very rude of you for that actually hitting me. All right.
Now let's plant the seed Dunkus gave us at the base of the raised stone.
There are lots of raised stones. Okay, that's the raised stone that counts. The one that is exuding dark aura. I know.
Dunkus's clan are sure to be here soon to finish breaking the bond.
All it took was a single cut from one scene to the next, and it was there, like magic. All right. On to the next pillar of stone that needs to be fought for. At the very least, I don't have to worry about defending the camp while they're doing a ritual. I would rather do an extra boss fight. Oh, this place again. I would rather do an extra boss fight than to have to worry about a bunch of AI characters' health bars. And what type is defending this zone? Oh. This guy's got ads, it looks like. These ads won't last for long. All right. Do that, do Shield of the Enlightened, do Stasis. Alright, this one doesn't have as much armor in general. And also it gets stunned for longer, so that means it is not going to be quite as strong as the previous one. And its armor is already gone. Let's do magic healing and Shield of the Enlightened. Do another bout of healing and shield. And the thing is, even though I have less willpower... Ma'am. All right. Not particularly tough, but her attacks do have a stronger range. And there she
We
goes.
can access the stone and plant Duncus's seed. Look, the plant seems to be growing extremely fast. The Doneigada of Duncus's clan are sure to be here soon to finish breaking the bond.
Oh, pff. Even their bodies just suddenly disappeared. Be careful, beyond this point you will not be able to continue other ongoing quests. All right. I presume that this means that the end of the game is nigh. Which I'm okay with. I'm ready to move on. To other sites. Let us travel back to... Oh, this is a different camp. This is this Deirdre's camp? This is not Deirdre's camp. This is just my camp. All right. Let's do it.
How are you feeling, my child? What you are about to do is difficult.
Don't make it harder than it has to be, Petrus. Fighting against your cousin isn't pleasant, but it's the only logical thing to do.
A nicer way of saying she has no choice.
Indeed. I must stop Constantine, regardless of what it may cost me. Not only to obtain an antidote to the Malachor, but also to save this island.
I have learned many things by your side, and thanks to you, I was able to give my mother back to the earth. I won't forget this. And this is my land, my people. I will be by your side. You will not go through this ordeal alone.
What's happened to Constantine is regrettable. But you're doing what must be done. You're a good person, Greenblood. Then you can count on
Why
your
are none of the
master
camera
arms to
angles
protect you.
pointed at
We'll
Kurt?
all be with you. After all, this concerns all of us, doesn't it?
Naturally.
We will be by your side to support you both physically.
Why are none of the
and
camera angles
spiritually.
pointed at the people speaking?
You have been precious allies, and you are proving once more the value of your friendship. Now, let's go. It'll be a shame if we arrive too late.
Whoops, looks like everybody's dead. We didn't show up on time. Alright. Yeah. Well, have we got a little journey ahead of us? Through the same level that we've already been to before.
Has been forced. A fight took place here.
Constantine managed to get through. Let's hurry.
Oh jeez. Do you really must publicly display my failure to follow in Professor Seraphidin's footsteps so plainly? It's not enough just to fail the one quest, I must fail every single aspect of the quest. Is this a path forward? This is not a path forward. All right. Oh, okay. I was wondering why this game was making me go down... Oh, wait, hold on. Now I remember correctly. When I was going towards the, to the heart of the mountain, I was advised to only stay to the right. Now the path on the right side is gone. So I am now taking the left path. Why, hello!
Disade, glad to see you. Sadly, we couldn't stop your cousin.
He suddenly stormed our position, along with a horde of enraged creatures. We didn't stand a chance.
And now there are beasts attacking us relentlessly. My men are doing all they can to stop them.
We thought it best to stay here to keep the path open for you, should you want to face your cousin.
Thank you. You did well. I'll do everything in my power to catch him and stop him from carrying out his plan. Keep holding on as long as you can.
Also, is this the entire army that we're getting?
There's a group of creatures coming.
It kind of... I don't have Storm, that's fine. Now I have Storm, excellent. I'm reminded a bit of Lost the game, which begins with the plane crash in Lost. But when you show up in the gameplay aspect of it, like, the beach is practically empty. In the show, there are like, I want to say 80 or so survivors of the plane crash.
He's right. We must help them stop these creatures.
Are you sure?
Every minute gained is a minute that allows you to save us.
Glad to have you with us, Kurt. Just like the good old days.
And thank you too, Afra. It is an honor.
Enough with the talking, Greenblood.
Oh, am I going to end up fighting Constantine by myself, or...
In that case, thank you. And good luck to both of you.
Or with a different party? Oh no, I've got these three. All right. For now, though, I'm sure this group is going... Interesting how the game volunteers specific people, without necessarily giving the player the choice as to who they're... Oh, hello. Who they're leaving behind. But that kind of shows like an ending that's more or less set up without worrying about whether you're going to make specific choices, because then they wouldn't have to worry about recording other cutscenes for every character that you potentially might be leaving behind. Still, it would have been nice to maintain the party as it was. Though again, it kind of makes me wonder if we're going to eventually lead to a one-on-one duel, myself against the cousin. Like, I hadn't even noticed that I was being followed by all 5 of them. Why am I picking up everything? I'm probably not going to be able to go to a store.
There you are. I was starting to think that we would die here for nothing. Your cousin just passed through here with a horde of beasts, and he keeps sending us more.
We won't hold very long. We're not used to fighting creatures like these.
We are, and we will hold long enough for you to reach the heart, even if we must die in the process. But you must chase him. You must prevent him from performing the ritual at all costs. If Enon Milfrichtiman dies, we're all doomed.
I'm well aware of that, believe me. But here come some more beasts. To arms!
Oh no, not the beasts! Is it just one? No, it is 2. 3. Ah. Ah.
I'll stay with
Yeah,
my people.
okay, yep.
And I'll stay with her. One blade more can't hurt.
Ciara stays with the natives. Vasco stays with the
Could use
Knots.
some help here, to be honest.
So now we still need to find the,
You
see? Over and done.
You should go now. And may the volcano give you its
find,
strength.
the Teleme group for, Petrus to stay with. Thank you. For your wishes of luck. Yeah, it definitely looks like this is setting up for a one-on-one duel against Constantine, which is either just going to remain a one-on-one duel. Nope. I find myself cautious fighting them because, like these enemies do not telegraph their attacks that much. All right, let's heal, shield, heal again. Ah. Yeah. Stasis? Yeah. Yep, see? Even though he was he was in stasis, that only paused his attack. It did not cancel it. Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a lot easier once I actually fight Constantine himself. Like, he's going to have more discernible attack patterns. But yeah, certain beasts don't quite seem to have very easily... Why, hello!
There you are. Praise the Enlightened. Your cousin has already reached the heart. Our other allies informed me. They are also trying to stop the creatures.
What do you intend to do?
Pursue him all the way there and do everything I can to stop him.
In that case, may the Enlightened keep you in his divine... Oh no. More beasts are coming. Be prepared!
You know, this is something that makes me appreciate Call of Duty United Offensive a little bit more. Call of Duty United Offensive was a DLC pack for the original DLC pack. They didn't call it DLC packs at the time. It was still an expansion pack for the original Call of Duty, made by Treyarch, I believe. This was before Treyarch really was making their own full games. This was before Call of Duty 3, before Call of Duty World at War. And one of the things about the original Call of Duty was I think it had the tagline, "You never fight alone."
This time it's my
Which...
turn. I'm staying with my people.
I knew you'd say that.
Well, I wasn't going to let the young ones get all the glory.
Your help would be a blessing, Father.
You see?
Petrus, there's only the embassy.
Careful.
Or the emissary. There's nobody else for you to protect.
Be careful too.
But anyway. So in the main Call of Duty campaign, there are still numerous levels where you fight alone, where you do the Medal of Honor thing, because that was what Call of Duty was initially inspired by. Like, Call of Duty was made by some of the developers of the original Medal of Honor. And with United Offensive, I felt like they took that tagline and really, really ran with it, because almost all of the fights in the game are these big, massive armies. And you look at these, like, we requested the aid of these nations, and Ptolemy was only able to spare one person. There or maybe like 4 more people, because there was only so many bodies. But still, like, it does not feel like you're fighting alongside an army. It feels like you're fighting alongside a small group? A squad?
Constantine!
And then you got this PC game from the early thousands.
Restrain her.
Oh, hello. Oh my gosh. Alright, you have laser beams. And rock dropping. Alright. Not too much armor, though. I wonder if there was a recent game made by this company that I was told about in the comments, where you're playing as an automaton. It's much more Souls-like. Let us heal ourselves. Ah, son of a... Read that wrong. Heal ourselves again. Heal ourselves again. Stasis. I probably should use health potions at some point. Stasis. More stasis. Even more stasis. All right. No more armor for this fellow. Alright, how about let's stasis you once I'm done being stunned, and then... I've got 42 health potions. Might as well use one of them. Ah! Like, his movement is very... It's not quite... It's not smooth. It's very jerky. It makes it kind of hard to exactly... Didn't I just use a health potion? Oh my. Stasis. Get my armor back. And then stasis. Ah. Okay, let's get out of the way of that. Ah. Excellent. Stasis you there. Ah, mid-attack, that's fine. Okay, so it didn't cancel his attack, but it did seem to cancel the rock part of that. All right. We are almost done with this guy. Yeah, let's stasis you. First time getting hit by that. Alright, I think I just need to hit him once or twice. Once more. There we go.
No! Stop! Step back. I do not desire your death. I'm sorry.
Why? Why have you done this?
But for you. For us. So that we may live free at last.
This makes no sense. Constantine, it's madness.
You don't understand because you're still attached to the old world. This old, dying world which, to survive, has betrayed, used, and manipulated us and would not have hesitated to kill us.
Perhaps. But
I've seen death, cousin. And I understood the vanity of it all. My father's ruses just so he could earn more power. The political bowing and scraping to preserve corrupted nations. I have been offered unrivaled power, allowing me to get rid of this. To send the old world back to its inevitable death and to build something new here. Something unique. And this new world is my gift to you.
How many evil doers, their main plan is, we'll just wipe this slate clean and then we'll start over.
He himself is the incarnation of the old world he is speaking of. He has its vices and its poison. For his own immortality, he's prepared to destroy everything around him, to break millennia of cycles. I implore you, flesh of my land, think of all the lives that will come to an end, to feed his...
Okay, I'm getting the impression that there isn't actually going to be a direct fight against Constantine.
He's like all the others, after all, clinging to life. All you have to do is to bind yourself here, with me, and we will be gods together, forever.
I would have personally aimed a little bit higher, but...
Good night, sweet prince.
Yeah, it's been quite the workout. I look vaguely like I'm laying on the ground.
After the fall of Constantine, my young student managed to establish stronger links between the old nations and the natives. Some of their Donegada were even invited to the continent, and with their help, it slowly became a land filled with life again. And for the first time in a long while, the number of cases of the Malicor is decreasing. Those who bravely fought at Dorhad Genadu were celebrated everywhere. After all, if it weren't for this unlikely alliance, the island would have fallen into Constantine's greedy hands. Sieglinde took Kurt as an advisor, but he insisted on keeping his place alongside his former student and friend, watching her back as he always had. Siora obtained the title of Marl of the Red Spears alongside her twin. She leads them with wisdom, but often reunites with the one she still calls her Karants. Afra set aside her weapons and went back to her research on the native culture and flora of the island. It is said that she is even writing a book with the help of Dunkas's clan when not visiting her friends. For his bravery, Vasco was awarded the rank of commander. He now travels the sea at the
I was gonna
head of
say,
a
does he at
whole
least
fleet,
have a ship back?
but he often comes back to visit his sister-in-arms. Petrus's ambitions have finally been fulfilled. He obtained the much-coveted title of Cardinal. Despite the responsibilities implied by such a title, he still sometimes visits the one he calls his child. Despite the help Ulan received, which allowed him to restore the importance of the seaside Nemeus, he still had to renounce the role of Marl as he faced the contempt of the other clans.
He's kind of a jerk. I don't feel bad for him.
Ulan and Naixe helped Deirdre to overcome her reticence. She willfully accepted to follow the orders of her new High King.
Excellent.
Dunkas and his people spent a lot of time with savants and theologians. Patiently, they shared their knowledge of the earth and learnt new techniques from one another. And in so doing, they restored balance between the new world and the old. The natives' hostility towards the Alliance has not diminished, and Governor Byrne is in a delicate situation, especially considering some sordid rumors in Al-Sad regarding the practices of the scholars he protects.
The governor's kind of a jerk. I don't feel bad for him.
Mateus's life led to a deep change in Teleme. The Ordo Luminis was dismantled for good.
Okay.
And the missionaries' purpose is now to establish dialogue rather than conversion.
Better.
Now that the Nort sailing techniques were known, others tried their hand at them, without success for the time being. Simply knowing the techniques could not take the place of the Guild's centuries of experience. Under Sieglinde's control, the Guard returned to the honorable values that had made its reputation. And they did so all the more easily, now that their shadiest members were out of the picture. Alas, the De Vesp's arrival didn't bring peace to this island. Their scheming left its mark.
Yes, but it did bring me probably the better looking clothes in the game, so...
The abundance of evidence against Aurelia signaled the end of the de Vesp's ambitions, both on Tyr Fredie and the Old Continent, where they were harshly reprimanded by the Council, who relegated them to the status of the most obscure families.
All right, so that was GreedFall. I don't know if there's a lot that I want to say about the game. It's ambitious. I'm going to grant them that. The team at Spiders, they were highly ambitious in the size of the game that they were creating, and I feel it is unfair in that sense. This game gets compared to Dragon Age Inquisition a lot, and one of the things that I had mentioned earlier is that Dragon Age Inquisition is a game made by a huge team with tons of people, and Spiders does not have even half the amount of people that Dragon Age had. It probably doesn't even have half the amount of money that Dragon Age had, or maybe even the time to develop. Time to develop and money in their budget are things that I don't know, but I can look at the size of the development team and I can see they had a specific person focused on translating, making the native language. And I can see the, how big their team was. That said, this is a game that I feel is difficult to recommend to anyone unless you are willing to accept a moderate amount of jank in everything. In the story, in the gameplay, in the world exploration, quest structure, dialogue. There's everything has some degree of undercooking, underdeveloped. And that's why I feel like this team is very ambitious for what they tried to do, but they really extended themselves far greater than they probably should have. To the point in which, even basic things like all the governor's mansions look the same, despite the fact that these are 3 different cultures. Gameplay systems. I chose magic because I figured that might be interesting, but otherwise, magic is really just a flashy melee weapon, a melee attack, and a flashy ranged attack. You've got 2 different kinds of range attacks. You've got guns and magic, but apparently, but more or less, they function in a very similar fashion. The shadow impact in magic is more or less just a fast melee attack. It could be replaced by a dagger. There's nothing necessarily about magic that makes itself unique as much as, I was using specific spells in order to kind of imbalance and stun throughout the entire game. The world is, there's interesting things going on. Oh, nobody is credited to the de Vespe conspiracy. Oh, sorry. It's probably just everybody after that. Never mind. But it's just, it's very hard for me to recommend this game to, Now, I suppose on this note, I probably should say it's also hard for me to recommend the Dragon Age series to anybody. You really have to be into that specific brand of open world RPG and accept a bit of flaws with your game. Dragon Age 1 is a 60 to 70 hour game with a combat system that drags. Dragon Age 2 is a 30 to 40 hour game that is undercooked. And Dragon Age 3 is a giant... is like a giant bucket of applesauce. Sure, applesauce in 1 or 2 spoons is fine. A little cup is fine. A bowl of applesauce is fine. But once you start to get to the gallon size of applesauce, and you're halfway through the gallon of applesauce, and you're I don't feel like eating the rest of this applesauce. That's Dragon Age Inquisition. It's too much toast for the butter that's spread upon it. And like, all of these games kind of come with a grain of salt from me. But this one more so. And I think it's all best kind of like demonstrated through like one of its first quests. One of the first quests in the game is you are tasked with uncovering a snake oil salesman. He's selling a specific cure-all to everybody. So you investigate his supplies, and you find notes that he wrote, and you also find a sample of his cure-all. Then you go back around, and you can be like, hey, why don't you drink a little bit of your cure-all? Are you willing to taste it yourself? Here's the thing. Why would you have to go through his supplies to find a sample of the product he's selling on his cart? It's right there on his cart. And that's a little bit of a kind of like the underthinking, underdeveloped, maybe even almost overstructured process of the game, where not everything is thought through as much as it could have. Maybe the game needed more time. Maybe the game needed more people. Maybe the game needed more quest designers. I don't know. There is a part of the game where I'm looking for Constantine, and my character goes, there's no bodies around here, and there are clearly bodies everywhere. So, still, I wanted to play the game. I wanted to see what it was about, because it looked interesting, and there are aspects of it that are interesting, like the world building, the lore, storyline, the idea of the island, the idea of... But I just could not get myself to like any of the characters involved. I think Constantine might have actually been the most likable, only because he seems like the most genuine, friendly person to you the entire game. But otherwise, everybody else is just like, I really don't care about any of these characters. Spiders is apparently working on a sequel. We'll have to see how it turns out in comparison to part 1. But for now, got any suggestions for someone to play next? Leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourselves a good night.